Hello and welcome to the session on scientific properties and objectives of lighting. Light is a radiant energy which falls on small zone, makes an object in that zone visible to the eye. In other words, light activates vision through the eye, and the eye in turn sends a message to the mind which recognizes and differentiates the object. The whole process takes place in a fraction of a second. When light rays are created by sources, they travel in straight lines in all directions. The ray moving in one direction may be blocked by introducing an obstruction in the path, reducing the passage of light rays to the particular range between the source of light and the obstruction. It is only then that the obstructing element or the subject is illuminated and therefore become visible to the eye. When light hits an object, it produces three possible results: absorption, reflection and refraction. The periphery of the surface of the objects may absorb all the rays of light falling on the object so that we see it as black and matte. In other cases, some of the light rays, constituted of 7 colors, are partly absorbed by the surface and the remaining ones are bounced back. We see the object through a light composite of color rays after absorption of the remaining colors out of white light. The bouncing back of partial light is known as reflection. Similar to air, there are colorless objects like a block of glass or a tumbler of water, the clean condition which we know as transparent. Light seems to pass through such mediums unobstructed, but actually the action is somewhat different. When a single ray or collection of rays pass through a transparent medium like a glass or water, whose density is invariably greater than mere space, forces the straight course of the light to deviate and then allows resumption on parallel course in space. This bending is called refraction. However, it may be noted that negligible portion of light is absorbed and reflected even while passing through a transparent medium. Knowledge of this scientific phenomenon is important for better utilization and execution of light. The properties of the lens are based on the principle of refraction. What is reflection? When light strikes on a surface, some of the light is absorbed by the surface and some bounces back from the surface. The bouncing back of light is called reflection. There are 3 types of reflections. Specular reflection. When light strikes a highly polished surface like a mirror, it reflects the light rays in the same angle as the incident light ray strikes. This is called specular reflection. Diffused reflection. When light rays strike a matte surface like blotting paper, it will offer diffused reflection. Mixed reflection. When light rays strike a surface which is partly polished and partly matte, it offers mixed reflection. Reflector. The 3 types of reflectors commonly used for stage lighting equipment are spherical, parabolic and ellipsoidal or elliptical reflector. Lenses. The ability to refract light is of particular importance because it enables light to get collected, turned into a beam and adjusted to suit a specific purpose. The device is specially made with 2 types of lenses commonly used in stage lighting equipment are plano-convex and Fresnel. Spherical reflector. The first one, the plano-convex, is so called because this lens has a plane surface on one side and a bulged curve convex on the other side. This is used when the beam of light needs to have a well-defined edge. The lenses of this type available in India are 65 mm to 200 mm in diameter. Double convex lenses are also in use in recent years. They offer better optical quality, less chromatic aberration with sharp edge beam pattern. The second type of lens is called Fresnel lens, commonly pronounced Fresnel, and it is used where a soft edge beam is required. The quality of beam in this type drops off so gently at the edge that blending of two or more lenses becomes smooth without any patch. The Fresnel lens is a form of the planar convex, only its convex side is shaped into steps and appears saw-tooth in profile. Made of heat-resistant glass, its reverse is hammered so that it offers diffused and soft light. Fresnel lenses have short focal length. This lens is named after its designer Augustin Fresnel, 1788 to 1827. Fresnel lenses are available in 65 mm to 255 mm diameter size. The light coming from natural or artificial sources contain the 7 colors of the spectrum: vibgyor, violet, indigo, blue, green, yellow, orange and red. The eyes see color components of all the wavelengths which are present in the white light. When the white rays pass through a prism, they are separated into 7 colors. Spectrum analysis of color. When a surface on 1 square foot is placed at a distance of 1 foot from a candle, it offers 1 foot candle illumination on that surface. When the surface is 4 square feet and placed at a distance of 2 feet from the candle, the same amount of light is thinly spread over a wider area and the illumination will be thin, less than in the first case. Similarly, when a surface of 9 square feet is placed at a distance of 3 feet, the illumination will be still thinner than in the second case. Objectives of lighting. Illumination. Theatre being a visual art, the primary object of stage lighting is to provide adequate illumination so that the audience can see the actors and the environments properly. Visibility is achieved by installing different types of lighting equipment. A general practice in lighting the stage is to divide into 6 or 9 areas: stage left, stage center, stage right and so on, depending on the size of the stage. The visibility of the object depends upon 3 factors. First one, the distance between the stage and the auditorium. For example, most of the big theatres, the distance of the first row is 25 feet away from the apron and the last row is as far as 250 feet. In some theatres, first row is at distance 12 to 15 feet from the stage and that of back row 60 to 70 feet. For adequate visibility in theatres, different levels of illumination will be required, keeping in view the distance from the stage to the audience. Intensity of light falling on the stage. The intensity produced by a specific number of lights on stage of 15 feet into 25 feet in size will be adequate to achieve the desired intensity on stage of 15 feet into 25 feet in size, but will not be adequate to achieve the desired intensity on a stage of 30 feet into 40 feet dimension, as the same amount of light spreads over a wide area will become thinned out in intensity. In other words, the larger the area, the higher should be the requirement of number and wattage of lights. Its contrast with the background. These concerns the relative distance between the background and an actor or object placed against it. Stronger intensity is required to reveal a figure or an object which has the same color as the background than to bring out the object against a contrasting background. For example, a person wearing a blue or black costume against a red or white cyclorama or background can be highlighted with proportionately less quantity of lights than are required to bring him out if he wears red or white costume against a red-white cyclorama. Realistic lighting. There are some established methods of lighting the stage effectively uses for specific purposes. The lighting would not be logical if the audience did not get the impression of reality in performance. Reality is commonly accepted because it is nearest to human experience. In order to give the impression of reality, especially in case of a play of the realistic style, light should appear to come from a source which is logical and naturally feasible unless otherwise desired. The great variety of lighting equipment available today enables us to reproduce realistic effects on the stage, for example, to create illusion of reality by lighting the stage and the cyclorama in different ways. By throwing a beam of light from a spot with color filter, amber or frost for day, blue for dark night, blue-green for moonlight and orange for sunset through a window or door, so on, various times of day or night can be suggested. By using such color media as well as by manipulating the intensity of light by dimmers, greater flexibility and variety of realistic effects can be obtained. Compositional lighting. Today, we need to choose lights by quality and not quantity. By using spotlights through dimmers, it is possible to emphasize a part of the stage where the action is concentrated, keeping the other parts of the stage dark or dimly lit. The lighting should assist the proper balancing of the stage. What is important is to achieve a convincing balance between the lighted and the dark areas with perhaps an intermixture or dimly lit area if necessary. However, skillful lighting can direct the attention of the audience to the area or object one wishes to emphasize at a particular moment. Likewise, pinpointing a stage property or shifting emphasis from one object or area to another can be done by selective visibility or compositional lighting. Picking up some properties like painting, sculpture, telephone and so on while keeping actors in the dark conveys a different meaning. By highlighting such properties, one can expose the background of the family, the social or economic status of the person and the spirit of the play with varying shades of psychology. In a multiple setting, 2 or 3 locales can be established in different parts of the stage by manipulating groups of lights on different areas by fading out the illumination of one area and bringing up that of the other. This is called shifting emphasis and is achieved by manipulating the intensity of lights. Darkening of the auditorium while illuminating the stage can be considered a form of compositional light. Psychological lighting. While compositional lighting is primarily concerned with the art of stage lighting and caters to visibility and meaningfulness, there is another purpose which is termed psychological lighting, and it plays an important part in stage lighting by establishing the mood of the play. Continued experiments and experiences have revealed that light, darkness and color have their own distinct characters and psychological values in conveying the mood and the spirit of the play. There is an accepted notion that light is a symbol of joy, happiness and life, and darkness is a symbol of mystery and death. A very old but useful formula ordains that light should be bright for farce and comedy and dim light for tragedy. I should say this is all a general approach to lighting, but everything is dependent on the artist's perception about the text. The color form supplies various moods. Red represents warmth, blue and green are used for a cool effect. By applying the colors on the acting area or the background, different moods can be created. Plastic quality. Let us deal with the plastic quality, which is the revelation of the form in the 3 dimensions. Theatre is a mobile, 3-dimensional art form. To reveal the plastic quality of objects in the theatre, to bring out the roundness and depth, it is imperative to suggest contrast between light and shade. This is possible by using different tones as well as by fixing the angle at which light should strike the object. This can be achieved by using directional lights, key and fill-in light with varying intensity, as well as using contrast colors from different directions. The ultimate aim of lighting is to establish visibility, realistic effect, compositional effect, mood and plastic quality. But it is not always necessary to follow this rigidly. We should always remember that art is more important than techniques. There is another important aspect to know that about the fundamentals of electricity so as to utilize the lighting equipment with the maximum degree of efficiency, usefulness and safety. Generally, 2 wires are used for connecting electrical equipment with an additional wire called the earth wire. One of the 2 wires is positive or phase, indicated by plus sign. The other is called negative or neutral, indicated by minus sign. Current is carried from the source of supply to the equipment through the positive wire and returns to the source by the negative wire. When the current flows through the wires of a piece of equipment, it is said to be in a complete circuit. In order to have a complete circuit, it is very important, rather absolutely necessary, that the equipment is connected to both the wires so that the electricity flows through it. Electricity follows the path of least resistance, in our case through a lamp or any appliance, and this is called circuit. Parallel and series circuit. There are 2 methods of connecting the equipment so that the circuit of electric current may be closed or completed. These methods are called parallel and series. For stage lighting purposes, lamps are always connected in parallel. In a parallel circuit, each piece of equipment is connected to both the wires so that if one lamp blows off, the other in the circuit are not affected and continue to burn. When the lamps are connected in series, the electricity flows through all the lamps. The current supplied to each lamp is the same despite the varying voltage. In series connection, equipment is connected by cutting one of the 2 wires and connecting each piece one after another. In the circuit, if any of the lamps burn out, there will be a break in the flow of the electricity and the other lamps also will not function. A switch is a protective device which opens or closes the circuit. When it blows off, the other in the circuit are not affected and continue to burn. When the lamps are connected in series, the electricity flows through all the lamps. The current supplied to each lamp is the same despite the varying voltage. In series connection, equipment is connected by cutting one of the 2 wires and connecting each piece one after another. In the circuit, if any of the lamps burn out, there will be a break in the flow of the electricity and the other lamps also will not function. A switch is a protective device which opens or closes the circuit. When it is open, it breaks the flow of current. It always wired in series. A resistance dimmer which inserts resistance in a circuit regulates the flow of current and hence the brightness of the lamp is controlled. The dimmer is always wired in series with the lamp. The diagram illustrates combined circuits, series and parallel. Fuse. A fuse is a protective device, a safety device connected to a circuit on live wire. It is a small thin piece of wire made of low melting material like lead, copper, etc. A fuse acts as a bridge or gap in the electric current flowing from the source of supply to the equipment. It melts when there is excessive heat caused by overload or short circuit. If by chance the negative and positive wires come in contact with each other without any resistance between them, there is excessive current flowing, creating a short circuit. In such conditions, the fuse blows off and separates the outgoing lines of current, acting as a switch disconnecting the faculty part. Current. alternating current. In this system, current flows alternately in one direction and then in the reverse direction, changing at the rate of 50 times cycle per second. The alteration in direction takes place so quickly that the flow is virtually continued. It is more economical, efficient and sound. Direct current. In this system, the current flows in one direction constantly. The use of direct current is restricted today due to technical reasons and economy. However, in some parts of big cities where consumers are closely grouped, direct current still exists. Stage lighting has become an integral part of modern production techniques. Knowledge of lighting is not only essential for theatre technicians, but also for directors and actors. A basic knowledge of lighting helps a playwright to know what is possible for theatre director or the designer to create for his play through lighting effects. Controlled light on stage helps in establishing visibility, highlighting selective areas, creating environment and revealing the three-dimensional quality of the object and actors. Let us now move on to summarize the session. There are some established methods of lighting which we had already discussed. The lighting would not be logical if the audience did not get the impression of reality in the performance. Here we are having an idea of the great variety of lighting equipment available today, which enables us to reproduce realistic effects on the stage, which would create an illusion of reality by lighting the stage and the other parts of stage in different ways. Also, we had a significant historical journey of lighting from natural light to the technical aspects and the developments of light on the stage. There is major part of the lighting by establishing the mood of the play. Color and psychology, light and shade also had been part of stage lighting. There is a generally accepted notion that light is the symbol of joy, happiness and life, and darkness is a symbol of mystery and death. It has become a part of the life circle. Today, the invention of the various lights and different dimmers has enabled us to acquire control over light. Within any given space, with the help of this equipment, we can create the atmosphere of a dull day, cheerful morning or dreadful night. You now try to answer a few questions. Explain the historical developments of stage lighting. Describe the major factors of visibility. Describe the various currents. What is parallel circuit? Describe the plastic quality of any art. A few references for further reading. Guide to Stage Lighting by G.N. Dasgupta, published by Annapurna Dasgupta, New Delhi. Thank you for watching today's program. We shall meet later with another topic. Goodbye.